Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Student Game Developers Alliance Summit Showcase. Right now, we are in Block C, and we have our first game of the block, and that's going to be the Book of Fae. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Hi.
Hello.
Oh, sorry.
I'm Brianna. I was, creative director and the art lead for the project.
I am Susanna Perez. I was producer and just, another casual artist on the project.
My name is Roque Tacsa. I'll be live streaming the gameplay. I mostly did level design and was a generalist for the most part.
Awesome. It's good to have you all here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, I guess some initial primary questions. Where are you guys located? Where are you from? Well, what's the context of the game itself?
So where we are from, we're from Florida, the University of Central Florida, and the context of the game is a little light fairy named Fae. She gets trapped in the forest by this evil demon named Rav, and you as the player, which is Fae, you need to travel through the forest, interact with the creatures, and find a way out. So you escape his little dark forest.
Awesome. And you guys can feel free to start playing the game, whatever, and we'll be quiet during the narration bits. But as the game goes on, you guys can talk about your design ethos, how you went about developing the game, any cool little tidbits like an Easter egg that maybe that you kept in the game for yourselves.
Yes.
Whatever. And yeah, we'll be asking questions along the way.
Okay, cool, perfect.
Cool.
Sounds chill.
I'll begin.
Once upon a time, there was a little light fairy named Fae. All she has ever wanted was to spread happiness, even in the darkest of places. Jealous of her light, the demon Rav tricks Fae into his forest, tearing her wing in the process. To escape, Fae must follow the glow shrooms and befriend the forest creatures in hopes to free herself from Rav's clutches.
So we did a lot of there was a lot of back and forth basically where what we initially wanted to how the game actually came out. In the very beginning we were going with this almost isometric point of view, and a lot more puzzles, more intense puzzles, for even my tiny brain cannot comprehend, but we definitely lowered our expectations a lot, especially since this was our first game project.
Okay.
Most of the group, to be honest, most of the team members, we never experienced Unreal, so this was our first dive into the program and actually coming up together with a certain concept and putting it into a game. That was intense, but we learned a lot from start to finish.
I will say that the lighting of the game is really nice. It helps make the environments pop. For Fae, helps give it a lot of light and vibrancy. But I guess having a game where light and darkness are the two opposing forces, having a good lighting system is very crucial.
I did the lighting.
Fae discovers the spring-like creature. Sure.
When you guys mentioned your roles earlier, but if you go a little bit more in depth, kind of talk a little bit more about how you went about the game, or any sort of highlights and lowlights that you had during development.
Okay, so
Angry Bird, that scared me the first time that we were playing it, and I saw it. I kind of jumped a bit.
So honestly, one of the hardest tasks that we had, our programmer / artist Alex, he was kind of in charge of creature UI, and one of the hardest things he had to do was figure out how to create a flying AI that will come toward the player constantly, and that will kind of bump you out. So I don't know if you want to showcase what Gilda can really do. It was there. So she kind of follows you around, and that was a really hard task for our programmers to try to figure out. Because it was kind of easier with creatures on the floor already, but something that's flying in the air, we just weren't used to it.
You're adding a third dimension onto it, and that's a lot to handle. Even 2 dimensions can be kind of hard to make interesting, or hard to make new UI or AI.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I guess that goes into this broader spectrum of our creatures were hard to figure out. We have a lot of like certain creatures in here that all are affected from phase light. So for example, Gilda from before, she froze from phase light because she's just, she froze from it. And that was
Free
something
through
we
the
had to
wild
figure out.
Faye stumbles upon a slumbering mother pog walking her path. However, where could her child be?
And then obviously for Pug, he has like a cuter, more. A lot of people like Pug. When we had playtesters play, we had also like we had like a little forum, and we asked people like, "What's your favorite creature in the game?" A lot of people chose Pug. I'm not surprised.
Pog is
But-
very much shaped like a friend.
Yes, round friend. But yeah, one of our main challenges was to focus on creatures, what they can do, how they can interact with the player, so that when you're playing the game, it's a little bit more fun than just jumping around, figuring out how to traverse through the forest, sort of thing. I guess I would go. My task
oh my
was
god,
just
it rolls.
to create.
That's
Yeah,
so
I
cute.
know.
That's
It's-
very cute. I didn't notice that the first time. That's very cute.
I would consider myself the producer, so I just kind of made the schedules for everyone, and we hold meetings, whatnot.
Excited to be
Brianna
her
was our
side once
creative
more,
director.
The baby pog awakens his mother. Startled, the mama pog jumps up, only to break the bridge on her way
I
down.
really like the voice acting too.
The baby pog leaps after his mother as they take their
It
morning
really gives it like, I think I mentioned this earlier in the call, but it really gives it like a storybook feel.
Mhm.
Which is that what you guys are going for? Like a storybook feel?
Yes,
Yes.
definitely. In the beginning, we were actually thinking of an isometric point of view on top of a storybook. So Faye would be nice. Faye would be Faye would be kind of like walking on top of the actual book itself. But instead, we kind of went with you're kind of playing in the story. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
yeah. So our concept artist for the creatures, Joaquin, he's the narrator. His voice is
The
beautiful.
animator.
I want to promote him so badly, but
You totally can. If you
Yes.
guys want to, links. You guys can drop any links to both the game, your social medias, anything that you want in the showcase coordination and in Twitch, and we will. And yeah,
Perfect. Cool. Then I will do that. Yeah, we like this creatures in this game in general were the main highlight, and obviously trying to figure out how the level design would actually look. I know Roque, who's the one who's playing, and then two other programmers, Jay and Chris. They were the main lead level designers. They did such a great job making this small forest feel really big, and that was kind of something we were trying to figure out to do with such a small amount of time we had to create the game. We made something that felt big, but actually, if you look at it from like a bird's eye point of view, which obviously the player won't be able to, it's really small. Like,
it's one of those things where like the level is kind of like it's not just 2D. It like I see what you mean. Because it looks like there's a lot. Like from my point of view, from the point of view of like you said, of you or a player,
The baby
it does
pog's
look very
child
big.
walked
But
walk,
hearing that
releasing a
it's
now
smaller than
very
it seems is
delighted
actually really interesting.
Faye
Mhm.
waddles.
yeah, it was. I love his voice. Yeah, there's so much. We learned a lot from like just figuring out how like the game can actually run and stuff. Making a game that's too big, and we also wanted the target audience to be like almost adolescents. A larger playing field, I think, would be too much.
Mm-hmm.
So this was like the perfect balance of like it feels big, but it's actually, it's quaint.
Right, like it's home. Like it's
Upon
what's
reaching a
the word?
sparkling
Homely,
pool,
for lack of a
Faye's
better
torn
word.
wing
Yeah.
recovers. While
Cozy.
facing Rav one last time, she is
Mhm.
finally able to leave this forest and spread her
Mhm.
light elsewhere, never to return to his clutches ever again.
There we go. We had a couple more questions that we could ask before heading off. Those questions
Perfect.
being, do you have any plans for the future of the game's development? And the second question being the closing questions or closing remarks, which are, Is there anybody in the audience want to shout out? Anything you want to tell the audience? That'll be the closing remarks.
Bree, do you want to answer the first question?
We're not really gonna continue with this because again, it was like a class project, and I think we put all we could really into it.
Right.
Yeah.
This still is a very good. Like, this still is something that, like, I would totally download, especially since it's like on itch. It's pretty easy to access. I totally like. It feels like a complete experience in and of itself.
Thank you so much. We tried. We tried. With the time frame we had, also we tried really hard.
Yeah, definitely.
It's funny
Developing
because
for a class sounds very stressful.
it's funny because
Thank
it's
you
like
so much.
it was supposed to be just like a vertical slice, but then we just turned it into a short game.
There we go. Even better. So yeah, last question. Do you guys have any closing remarks? Anything anybody want to thank in the audience? Feel free.
Oh, definitely. Okay, I'm gonna shout out to the whole group. If you guys are watching, y'all are great. GG. And we also added some special thanks in the credits. Actually, I'm glad you're showing it, Roque. All of the game, the play testers who actually helped us when the game was not playable, and to any other people. Oh, also my bird. My bird was a voice actor for Gilda, so shout out to her. You know, she's probably shouting somewhere else right now in the house. But other than that, thank you guys so much for playing our game, and I will definitely put this out. I'll just put out any links for anyone's like art station or portfolio, just so people can look at the other group members, because they're really talented people. Like, this group was amazing to work with, and I really hope that once we get into the game career, that I get to meet people just as great as them.
Definitely.
That was such a fun experience. Challenging, but fun.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Thank you all so much. This was a treat. This was really fun. Thank you for submitting to the showcase and coming by to talk with us about the game. And best of luck with your future endeavors.
Thank you so much. You guys too.
Thank you.